We probably pulled back about 10 pounds, 15 pounds of it looks like flesh.
Welcome back to CSL TV. And I just hope you guys are having a beautiful, blessed day now. We're about to get into a real sick, twisted story on this individual you guys see smiling. And yeah, he told what he did to someone's body smiling. Now, I know visually we're not going to be very graphic. The details is what something we're going to hear because he's telling us this with a smile on what he did. It's sad to hear some of the stuff we watched and heard. If you've been rocking with me, subscribe. It's free. You'll be helping me out. It's a good deed. Like and comment. I bring different type of stories to the channel. It's a review, reaction, informational channel. But some of the stories we see is just real messed up. So I don't want to talk too long on this. So let's get it.
This story out of Pennsylvania is absolutely terrifying, and we warn you, the details are disturbing. This is Verity Beck, who lived with her parents Reed and Miriam in a suburb just outside of Philadelphia. Verity's brother asked police to perform a wellness check when he hadn't heard from his parents for over a week. What police found was beyond horrific. Cops say that upon entering the home, they were immediately struck by the stench of decomposing bodies.
Their voices were last heard by a family member on the 7th of January. So we believe that they may have been decomposing in that time. And that was also, unfortunately, the smell that the officers got when they first came into the house.
Soon after, cops say they found Reed and Miriam's bodies in, quote, different stages of dismemberment. According to an autopsy, Reed and Miriam were both shot in the head before being dismembered with a chainsaw. Police think Verity did it.
Based upon the fact that Verity used this chainsaw and then had put parts of her parents into trash bags and had covered them up, and they were actually in two different trash cans.
They also say Verity may have been using her parents' phones to impersonate them.
That's when their voices had last been heard. And I say that specifically because it seems like the daughter may have had access to their phones and may have been texting on their behalf.
Verity has been charged with first and third degree murder and is being held without bail. Cops say her motive is still unclear.
Dang, now that's real sad to know that your parents brought you into this world. Your parents could have gotten an abortion or put you up for an adoption. Your parents could have done so much to get rid of you, but yet they loved you, they took care of you, they raised you, even brought you back into their house, you know what I'm saying, to live with them. And for whatever reason, you felt the need to want to kill your parents and then use a chainsaw and chop their body parts up. I hope they give somebody like this. I know she getting life, but at the same time, this is where the death penalty, you know what I'm saying, they need to go ahead and put that into play because this is not an actual human being. I don't even know what this person is. I don't know who she worship because she sure don't worship the one most high, you know what I'm saying, of all positivity. So y'all need to just be careful of the people y'all be around because she could have snapped on anybody.
This is the story of how a missing girl's dismembered body parts were found in the pipes and the freezer of a suspect's home. The grueling details of this case will wear you out, but none more so than the attitude of the killer during the interrogation. The victim, Rory Hatch, was last seen on hospital surveillance cameras from the moment she was escorted into the emergency room for a medical session to the moment she left the waiting area some minutes later without seeing the doctor. On December 29, 2017, two plumbers who were hired to unclog the drains by the tenants of an apartment in Oshawa, Canada, would pull out what appeared to be a flesh-like substance. Being sure of what they had discovered, they called the police.
I'm a plumber and I'm on site for a job, and we got we're snaking a drain, and we've been pulling back. We probably pulled back about 10 pounds, 15 pounds of it looks like flesh type of stuff.
The police arrived.
Dang, so you mean to tell me these guys was over there cleaning up the drains? Drains was clogged up. They go snake in the drain and they find 10 to 15 pounds of flesh. Now I'm asking myself, how did somebody's body get down a drain to the point it's 10 to 15 pounds?
The police arrived at the apartment and met Adam Strong, who was a tenant on the ground floor. When he was asked about the flesh-like substance, Adam reportedly confessed immediately, telling the officers, Adam was arrested and charged with first-degree murder in the death of Rory Hatch. As investigators scoured through Adam's apartment for evidence, they discovered DNA samples belonging to another teenage girl called Candace Fitzpatrick, who had gone missing in 2008.
Both victims were in their late teens, and both victims were of more of a petite build, longer, brown hair.
Almost a splitting image of each other.
After Adam's arrest, the remainder of Rory's body parts were found by investigators in a freezer in his bedroom. Her blood was found on her running shoes, on the bedroom walls, and in the basement leading to Adam's bedroom, and his semen was found on her body. Multiple injuries were also found on her body, including 2 fractures to the skull. The cause of death could not be properly established by the medical examiner due to the state in which her body was found. The interrogation. Investigators had 24 hours to interrogate Adam Strong before his bail hearing. After the bail hearing, he could no longer be interrogated without a court order. The first interrogation, however, was more or less a flop.
Looking for the rest of her, you find her in the freezer. My question to you is the person in that freezer, Rory? I decline to answer that question.
Adam was not forthcoming. Trying to get answers from him was like talking to a brick wall. On November 8, 2018, about 11 months after the first interrogation, Adam sat down for a second one. At this stage, Adam was facing 2 first-degree murder charges for the 2 teenage girls. This time around, the investigators tried a more friendly and cordial approach.
I certainly knew we couldn't rush into talking to Adam about the case, given the fact how it went with the 2 detectives back in December of 2017. Sharing a meal with somebody, breaking bread with somebody, it's a chance to bond and talk.
This different approach paid off. The police were able to get some vital information from Adam that would later be admitted as evidence against him at the trial. We just hope Rory's family never have to see this part of the interrogation.
I don't know how appropriate this is, but I'd like you to pass on to her mother and her father my condolences.
The balls. Final verdict. On March 16, 2021, Adam was found guilty of first-degree murder in the death of Rory Hatch. The court determined that Adam killed Rory by repeatedly hitting her in the head with a hammer or a similar object as she lay bound in his bedroom during a sexual assault. The court also found Adam guilty of manslaughter in the death of Candace Fitzpatrick.
The 48-year-old was sentenced to life in prison with no chance of parole for 25 years for the murder of Rory, to be served concurrently with an 18-year sentence for the manslaughter of Candace.
This was because there was insufficient evidence to help determine whether Adam had intended to kill Fitzpatrick. The bereaved families reacted with joy and relief at the sentence. Candace Fitzpatrick's body unfortunately was never found at the time.
I wonder how many of these innocent females he was doing this stuff to before he got caught, because if it wasn't for the plumbers, he could have been doing this for a long time. And 10 to 15 pounds of flesh, I mean, who knows what he did with the other body, because they did find evidence and all this other stuff. I mean, it was so much against this guy. I don't see how they say they didn't have, it was insufficient evidence, which they found DNA and all this stuff. But I'm just a regular guy. I don't know all this detective stuff. I'm just curious on why they said it was insufficient when he got time for it. Maybe because he couldn't get the death penalty or something. Because this is very sick and disturbing. You know what I'm saying? Like, these is young females that you're doing this stuff to, and then you up here killing them and putting their body parts here and there. So, I mean, it's crazy.